Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm Don with Don's Camp Cooking. Today I thought we'd put together a couple simple breakfast burritos. Now these don't have to be for breakfast, as you'll see, but one of them does have eggs, and that kind of says breakfast in some people's minds. But anyway, we'll put them together. They're super simple and easy to do. You can cook most of what we're going to cook today ahead of time and simply wrap them in a nice flour tortilla and take them to work. Enjoy them in your dining room, whatever you want to do with them. The first one kind of has a little bit of a story behind it. Those of you who have seen some of my videos know that I was a scout leader in various different organizations of scouting over a 30-year span. And one of my favorite jobs was that of a den leader for the bear den. And the bears were 9-year-olds. And one of the things they needed to do in order to earn some of their badges was to learn how to cook. So I had them over to my house with my co-leader, and we taught them how to make these breakfast burritos. And I'll tell you a little story about this at the end of the video. So what we're going to do is cook up a pound of breakfast sausage. We're not going to use the whole thing, but we'll just have that as one of the ingredients that we'll add when we build our burrito. And the other thing are going to be eggs that we'll spice up a little bit with some green chilies. I'll warm up the skillet before I put the meat in. I'm just using some Jimmy Dean's regular old breakfast sausage. Well, our sausage is pretty much cooked. Well, the aroma of this sausage cooking outdoors just reminds me of so many times we were on a camp out with the scouts or at a camp while we were hunting. Just lots of good memories with this outdoor cooking. Just want to make sure it's nice and cooked. You gotta be careful with pork, not like it was in the old days, but still want to make sure it's plenty cooked. All right, I think I'm gonna call this cooked. So we'll set it aside for a minute. We'll get our eggs cooked. First thing I'll do is get some butter melted in my skillet. Now the wind's blowing, so hopefully it won't mess up my flame too much. I'm only going to make enough eggs for 2 burritos, so we'll have more sausage left over. Get a little pepper on there. We'll put some salt on these after they've had a chance to cook. And once again, this is only 3 eggs. This is typically how much I cook to make 2 burritos. You can alter that any way you'd like, of course. That's just how I do it. I have this on a pretty low heat, which is where I want it. I don't want to scorch these eggs to mean there's not much that tastes worse than a burnt egg. So I'll just let these take their time. I'll go ahead and add a little salt to these eggs. And in just a minute, I'll add some green chilies. Maybe I'll turn them over one more time first. They're just about finished anyway. So I'll add some of these green chilies. Now these are Young Guns Hat's green chilies. Are only a medium heat, so I'm not going to burn anybody up. Let these guys finish cooking real fast. These eggs are done, so I'll get those off the heat. Got a raw tortilla that we found at the store. And you just get a chance to cook it. Now, I'm not a big fan of store-bought tortillas, but these have a really good flavor to them, as if they were homemade. So we'll cook up a couple of those and see how we do. All right, let's build our simple burrito here. Just take a little bit of that sausage and some of the spicy egg mix. And on that, I'm going to throw some shredded cheese. Now, if you have any salsa, Pico de Gallo, anything else you want to put on this, now's the time. But we'll just fold her up and see how it tastes. Well, let's see how this simple burrito tastes. Once again, there's just sausage in here, some scrambled eggs with green chili, and some Kojak cheese. It's very simple, super fast to make, especially if you prepare your meat ahead of time. Let's give it a shot. It is as you'd think. The eggs are nice and creamy. The sausage is, well, pretty good. You can make these ahead of time. They're certainly better than a burrito you're going to find at the gas station. Wrap them in tin foil. Stick them in the oven when you're ready to go, even microwave them. You get a nice hot breakfast. If you're out on a campsite, even better. The flavor, the deliciousness of food is magnified when you're out in the cold or the rain and you have one of these burritos. It's like heaven. So, one down, one to go. So the second of our two burritos is a little less breakfast specific, but I still enjoy it for breakfast. It has beef chorizo in it. I'm using a 9-ounce tube, and I'm using a pound of ground beef. Now this ground beef is a little bit leaner than what I like to use 80-20, and this is about, what, 93% lean. Get this chorizo out of the casing and into the skillet. Remember I told you it has that neat texture? Kind of loosey-goosey, but that's okay. By the time it's all cooked, it has a really nice flavor that will add to our burrito. You can see how this lean beef is soaking up that fat pretty quick. I'm going to go ahead and add our taco seasoning. Like I said, the ingredients to this are below in the description of the video. That's all good. Grab some of our meat. Get it on here. And to that I will add some grated cheese, of course. And last but not least, some fresh Pico de Gallo. See if I can get this guy rolled up here. And there it is, a breakfast burrito. So let's give this one a shot. The first burrito was fairly mild. It had the eggs and the breakfast sausage, along with some medium heat-wise green chilies, and of course the cheese, and it tasted really good. This one, however, is going to be a little more spicy, which is how I like it, but let's see how she tastes. So here it is. Definitely leaning towards Mexican food, more so than the first burrito did, with the Pico de Gallo in there with the jalapenos and the cilantro, along with the spices that are inside of the chorizo and the taco spices that I put in the beef. If you have never cooked with chorizo, this will be a great way for you to start. So it's a pretty simple burrito, very tasty. The Pico de Gallo recipe I'll have below as well in the description of the video. So now I want to go back to the story I began to tell you about our Cub Scouts. With our egg and sausage burrito, I taught these boys how to make these, and once again, these are 9-year-old boys. One of the boys we had there was relatively introverted. He didn't talk much. We got him to come out to a good deal of our activities, not all of them by any means. But the day after we had our activity, I got a phone call from his mother, and she was crying. Like, oh no, what happened? Well, what had happened was that young man got up before anybody the next morning and made the family those breakfast burritos. So what a great way to get your family involved in cooking. If you have little kids or grandkids, they will love to put these together with you. So, bon appetit. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Pretty good.